Hi and welcome to Geeks for Geeks. Can I have a quick +1 in the chat if I'm visible as well as equally audible? Then we would start right away. So let me just turn on a preview screen to see if I'm visible or not. Hi and welcome to Geeks. Okay. Okay, I'm fairly visible as well as equally audible. So let's start without wasting any time. So today we would be discussing yesterday's problem of the day, that is concatenate two numbers. Okay, and this is a hard level problem and the success percentage to this problem is 78%. Now on my personal view, this is not a hard level problem, rather this is a medium level problem. Okay, easy medium level problem. Now let us move forward. We are given an array of n positive integers, okay, and a positive integer x. So we would be given an array which would contain n positive integers, and you would also be given an value x, okay. The task is to find the number of ways that x can be obtained by writing pair of integers in the array next to each other. It means pair means two numbers, so it means that you need to find two values, okay, two values, count of two values that can be, suppose this is the first value is a and the next value is b. So if you concatenate means if you add those two, okay, and write side by side, then this would be equal to x, okay. And then concatenation of this is what it means, okay. And this can't be like this, a can't be there. If there is any other a that you are referring, then it is fine, but if you are referring the current index only two times, then it is not fine, okay. So you can't consider the same index again, so I and j should be different. Let us see. So we have first I. So if we have I and if we pair it with 2 1 2, then this value with 1 1 2, okay, this value with this value, okay, then this value with the last value, okay, 1 1 2. Now the next value, this value with this value and this value. Let me remove this. So 2 1 2 and then again 1 2, 2 1 2 and then again 1 2, okay, this value is also complete, okay. Now we would remove this and then we would see this value. This value with the next value would make it like this, okay. Hey Sanjay, how are you? Hey Lalit, how are you? I'm fine, okay. Now the last value can't make any other pairs, so it is done. Now let us see how many 1 2 1 2 we can reduce down. So we can make this 1 2 1 2, then we can make this 1 2 1 2. Now there should be one more 1 2 1 2, okay. Let me just see, okay, yeah, there would be one more 1 2 1 2. How I would be telling you, suppose you have this value. So now what we are doing is we are considering the current value as the first value, this side value, then the leftover part is done by the next value. Now it can be there that this value is always acting as the first value and rest all values are acting as a second value. Now this can also be the case that this value is considering this value as the second value and the next value. Like, let me show you example. Like if this value is added with this value, now the same can go. So this value is acted as the first number and this value is acting as the second number. Now the second thing which can be done is this value can act as the first number and this value can act as the second number. So 1 2 1 2 and then 1 2 1 2, both the values would be same. That is why we can say that this is the value. Now it can be a clear observation that what we can do is we can count the current value as the first value and then we can try to find the second value. मतलब हम क्या करेंगे, we would be having the first value, whatever is matching we would remove that, whatever is remaining we would try to match that with the next values, that the values we will have. And then what we can do is the previous values, okay, for the previous values this value can act as the second value, okay. This can be quite done, Okay, so this is the first intuition that we can get after seeing the example. After doing the dry run of the example, we can do. Okay, so now let us see. Yeah, Sanjay found out. Okay, so what we can do is past elements would act as 1, okay, and first value, and the current value would act as a second value. So हम क्या कर सकते हैं, what we can do is we can have two map, okay, one map as past and one map as next. For the next we would add all the values, okay. Let me show you the dry run of this, okay. So this would contain the past and this would contain the next. So initially next would have all the elements. So we have 1, 2, 1, 2 and then 1, 2 and then again 1, 2. The past values still now will have nothing. Now what we can do is we come across this. So first we would be removing this. We would be removing this. Why? Because see, it might be the case that the x is equal to 1, 1. So if we don't remove it, then even if there is no 1 present, then we would consider the same index twice. To prohibit that, we are removing the current index. Then what we are doing is 1 is fulfilled. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So 1 is getting fulfilled. So if 1 is getting fulfilled, then we have 2, 1, 2. So we would try to find 2, 1, 2 in the map. So we have a 2, 1, 2. So what we would do is we would increase the counter to 1. Okay. Now whatever value we are passing moving forward, we would pass the previous values here itself. Okay. Now this, the earlier value, okay, can't act as a previous value. Why? Because there was no values. Now we have 2, 1, 2. So if we have 1, 2, 1, 2 and we have 2, 1, 2, then we can see that it can't act as the first value. Why? Because the characters are not matching. Okay. Now we would try to make it the second value. Okay, it would act as a second value and we would try to find the first value. Yes, we can find the first value. That 1 and 2, 1, 2 would make it 1, 2, 1, 2. So we would add one more. Okay, then we are moving forward. So we would keep the 2, 1, 2 here and we would remove it from here. Next what we would do it, this is 1, 2. So first we would remove this 1, 2. Okay. To remove this 1, 2, after 1, 2 is done, we need to find again 12 in the next first. So next there is present. So we would add here 1. Now after this 2, 1, 2 would act as the first value and the previous we would take it from the past. There is no 12. So we won't do anything but add the 12 at this point. Next we have again 12. So 12 there is, so first 12 we would remove this. There are no elements to compare, we won't do anything. Then we would try to find act as the second value. So this value would get fulfilled and this value is to be searched. We are getting a past value. Okay. So we would add that. So that is why the value would become at 3. Okay. Now this implementation would be quite large. Why? Because you need two auxiliary map and then you would be inserting and trying to pair it with the next value and then with the previous values, and then the comparison would be very little tough. So what you can do is, instead of doing all this, you can take advantage of the range of this. Okay. What is the range of x? X ranges from 1 till 10 to the power 9. So 10 to the power 9, the maximum number with 10 to the power, maximum number would be 10 to the power 9. So 1 and 9 zeros. 9 zeros means 9 digits. Okay. 10 to the power 2 is equals to 100. So it can be clearly understood that 10 to the power 9 would have 1 and 9 zeros. So that is 10 digits. So 10 digits means that the length would be 10. If we convert everything to string, then we just need to compare a string of size 10. And comparing a string of size 10 is kind of similar to hashing the frequency of the alphabets in a string in a 26 size array, and it is quite feasible. Fair enough. Now what we would do is we would try to partition this 1, 2, 1, 2, and how we would see to it. So we have 1, 2, 1, 2, and as only 2 pairs are needed, so what we can do is we would first try to partition at this point. So if we try to partition at this point, that would be 1 and 2, 1, 2. Then we would partition at this point, that would be 1 2, and then would be 1 2. Then we try to partition at this point, that would be 1 2 1, and then again 2. Then we can't partition it here because the next one would have nothing. That is why there are n minus 1, the length is n, and n minus 1 would be the ways to partition. Okay, this and this. Okay, I hope you have understood. Now what we would try to do is, we would try to find the occurrence of this with the occurrence of this. Suppose there is A, and there is B, and there is C, and there is D. Now it is told that A, B, C, D, A, this every member of this side can make a pair with every member on this side, and every member of this side can make a pair with this side. So we can see that this can make a pair with this and this. Then if we come across this, this can also make a pair with this and this. So basically this is nothing but multiplication. Suppose this side is n and this side is m, then the value would be nothing. If we want the count, then the value would be nothing but m cross n. Okay, n cross n. Fair enough. This is the first case. This is the intuition behind it. Now one more case is that, suppose the value is 1 2 and 1 2, the same value that we have seen. So now this is the value. So what we can do is, suppose there is only 1 1 2 present. If there is only 1 1 2 present, then we would count the same thing again. Okay, but that is not the correct way. But let us take the case when there are 2 1 2, 1 2, and then again 1 2, and then again 1 2. So this 1 2 can make a pair with this also, can make a pair with this also. So basically this is also nothing but, suppose if n 1 2 are present, then the value would be n multiplied with n minus 1, because this value can make a pair with this value. Okay, fair enough. So if the first value is equal to the second value, then what we would do is, we would compare the count with n into n minus 1. If that is not the case, what we would do is, we would do m into n. Okay, so let us move forward to the implementation. So what we are doing is, so we are using map instead of unordered map, because unordered map has a worst time complexity of big O of n. Okay, big O of n. That is why we are not doing it. But map has a worst time complexity of log n, so we are going with this. We need to return long. That means that the count would be very large, so we are initializing the answer with long. Then what we are doing is, we are comparing everything, we are converting everything to the string, and we are hashing the values. And we are also converting this value x into string, because string and string can be compared easily. Then what we are doing is, we are first, suppose this is A, B, C, D and E. So first this I is equals to 0. So this is the value I 0 to I plus 1. Suppose I is equals to 0, then I plus 1 would be equal to 1. So we would start from 0 index and we would take one value. So this value would be taken and B, C, D would be the second value. This is how we are doing it. Then moving forward, and in here we can't mention the number of characters too, but even if we don't mention it, we take it till the last. Okay, so if the first value is equal to the second value as said, then what we would do is, the first value multiplied with the second value minus 1. Okay, but if that is not the case, m into n, the same thing we would add to our value and we would return it. Okay, I hope things are clear to you, but still I would wait for the next 1 minute to see if there is any doubts or not. If no doubts persist, we would just turn off this session. Tell me quickly if doubts are resolved or not. Okay, let me just refresh the screen. Okay. Everyone please like the video if possible. Okay, fair enough. So we have waited. We are not receiving doubt. That means we are pretty clear with this. So that's it for today. Thank you and have a nice day. I would meet you on Wednesday, but tomorrow the session would be taken by most probably. So you're most welcome, Lalit. Thank you.